Of Iowans out in the sun and the heat. This really is way too warm for August 28th. Those of us from Iowa, we know that. But it is great that you're here because you know there just is so much on the line, folks, this year. You hear politicians say that all the time. You know, the most important election of a generation, and on and on and on. Oh, listen, folks. I mean, I'm 63 years old. I've been through this a lot. I've been in Congress 10 years. By the way, will you help me go back next time? Okay? That's out of the way. Thank you. All right. I've been doing this for a while. I've been, you know, sort of observing American politics for quite a long time. And I've never seen anything quite like this. And I've never seen anything like Donald Trump. Has anybody ever seen anything like Donald Trump? I mean, there are going to be plenty of people talking about him today. I don't need to go on and on about that. But it is quite an astounding sight to see Donald Trump and to hear what he is saying. Now, what we have to do this time is make sure, folks, first and foremost, that we protect all the gains that we've made under President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. We've got to make sure that we do that, folks. When they came into office, we had the worst recession since the Great Depression. You know that. And there were several hundreds of thousands of folks losing their job every month. And we've seen sustained growth over that time. We have now a health care program, the Affordable Care Act, that has put almost 20 million more folks on health insurance, folks. That is a great success. And there may be some here right now today who are, say, 24, 25 years old and are now on their parents' health insurance they couldn't have been before. And there may be folks here with pre-existing conditions who were uninsurable prior to the Affordable Care Act, but now they have health insurance. I am proud of that bill. I am proud of that. I was on one of the three committees that worked on that. We cannot turn the clock back. We've got to continue to go forward. We've got to work on the bill, make sure that it's better, make sure that we include more folks, make sure that health care is more affordable than it is now. But we've made progress. We've got to continue to make progress when it comes to issues of equality. Whether it's allowing you to marry the one you love, or making sure that we get big money out of politics and overturning Citizens United, folks. We've got to do that. Plus, we have to make sure that everyone who is working for a living doesn't live in poverty, and make sure that we get that minimum wage to a livable wage level and do it sooner rather than later, folks. There's so much more that we need to do, but we also know that we can only do it if we have Democrats elected to office. That's the only way it's going to get done. You know, Donald Trump says that workers get paid too much. I mean, he really said that. It's amazing. Look, we know the big differences between Hillary and Trump. There's really no choice as far as I'm concerned. But we also know that here in Iowa, it is competitive. We can do something about that. We can organize. We can get folks out to vote. We can sign folks up to register. We can sign them up for early voting. We can chase down those ballots. We can get them to the polls on November 8th. We have to do that, folks, because it does make all the difference in the world. And we also know that what happens at the top of the ticket has some effect on the rest of us down ballot. So it is absolutely imperative that we get Hillary Clinton elected president of the United States. I know you're all going to help us do that. But you can't do it alone. You know, there are already stories that Republicans are doing right now what they did the day that Barack Obama was sworn into office in 2009. They're already getting together, Republicans in Congress, to figure out how they're going to block Hillary Clinton. Well, our job is to make sure that they don't have that opportunity, right? Our job is to make sure that the Congress is in Democratic hands. Our job is to make sure that Chuck Grassley does not go back to Congress next January, and that Patty Judge is part of that Senate majority, Democratic majority, folks. That's the only way that we're going to make this happen. And then we have these great candidates up here. Kim Weaver is going to replace the embarrassment to Iowa. Okay? I did say that. I did say that. All right. And Jim Maurer, of course, he's going to win this district. It's a competitive district, and he's got a great shot at that. I know he's going to win. And Monica Vernon, I've known her since the floods of 2008 in Cedar Rapids. We worked together on those issues. And, you know, that's one of the top targets, just like over here in central Iowa. Monica Vernon is going to be a great congresswoman, the first woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives from Iowa. All right? Now, what about these other ballots? I want to see Mark Smith be the Speaker of the House, the Iowa House. I would like to see that happen. And I want to make sure Mike Groundstel still runs the Senate, still is the Senate Majority Leader, but we have a razor-thin margin there, folks. We only have a 2-vote difference. I'm helping Chris Brace in my district. I'm helping Rich Taylor in my district. I'm doing what I can for Scott Peterson from Mount Vernon, where I lived for 29 years. I'm helping a lot of these House candidates too. But we have to make sure that Governor Branstad does no more damage the 2 years that he has left. And the only way we can do that is keep the Senate and take the Iowa House. That's the only way that we can do that, folks. We've got to make it happen. And then one last thing. We know that if we accomplish all those goals this time, and I know that we can do it, we will be set for 2018 to make sure that we get a governor in office in Iowa who knows Iowa values, will work for progressive values, will get the right things done, won't close down mental health institutes anymore, won't turn Medicaid over to private insurance companies, won't do all these things that Governor Branstad has been doing for 8 years. Folks, we're going to be on our way. I can promise you that. Thanks for everybody coming out. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all the great folks up on stage here. Have a great one. Thanks, everybody.